stage on streams today. So it will be Iceman on the left of your screen, Yam on the right, and we are going to start ourselves off with a Min Ditto. Both going to come in with different loadouts. Naturally, Iceman will be the blue Min, coming in with the Sparky and the Ice Dragon. And Yam on the right is going to come in as the default loadout. Well, the default skin for Min. Going in with that Parasol and coming in with a Phoenix. So, very different strategies going in here. The Phoenix is going to try and go around the tubes. There's 6 of them. It's very, very useful for curved arms. And you see Iceman trying to get some kind of distance to get the Sparky up. With them both being Min, both will have access to that Dragon Arm. Once it's charged up, it will keep the left arm perma-charged unless they get knocked down, which is why that Phoenix is going to be a little bit more of a problem for Iceman. Loses the arm, just about parries it, but the Parasol is going to come in and knock them down, so that arm is gone. Yam has the advantage here. Also has Rush available and is going to catch Iceman. Nothing that they can do about it. 350 damage immediately backs up, just in case Iceman decides to come in for another hit. And you just see how big that bird is, and unfortunately Iceman is not going to have an answer for that. He's immediately gonna hit the deck. Could not get the Sparky into action whatsoever. Gonna ditch the dragon. In comes the Chakram. So wasn't even able to really talk about the capabilities of that Ice Dragon. But even though it excels at the range, Yam was just pressuring them, and that Phoenix just did not give them a moment. Finally getting the arm up and running, but it's not gonna get anything with that Rush. Tries to force the shield break, will at least take 50 damage. And the Ram does catch the stun with it being charged. It brings that to the table. And Yam is going to need to be a bit careful here because they're going to lose use of that Dragon Arm. And just like the Phoenix in the previous point, the bigger that Chakram is, the harder it is to avoid. And the more pressure you will find yourselves under. Having said that, Yam is coming back quite nicely here. Iceman quickly retreating. Arm weak on the right-hand side. And Yam is actually going to catch the Phoenix here. Big time damage, 300 sends Iceman into critical, and Yam is just looking for a couple more hits and would take a surprise lead against Iceman, which would be pretty amazing if that happened. Rush, however, is going to put them right back into the action, 315 damage, both into critical, and that is a stun grab confirm, and Iceman is going to tie up this point, 1 each. The last thing you want to go ahead and suffer to is that ram into a grab. That's what that combo is there for, and Iceman is now getting the confidence to come back in with the Ice Dragon. So with most of the tubes now down, the Ice Dragon can be an absolute pain, and Yam knows they need to play a little bit more aggressive here to make sure that Dragon cannot do any of its icicle shenanigans, and especially coupled in with the Ram. If the Ram can at least get a stun, all the Dragon needs to do is just lick just a little bit of laser, and Yam will hit the deck immediately. Somewhat weak on the right hand side, actually broken on the right hand side. The Ram is going to knock them clean off their feet, and the Ice Dragon begins its chill combo. Yam has to just be patient here, wait it out. Iceman didn't try to go for the grab, probably knew that Yam was going to try and punch it anyway. Both with Rush ready to go here. Iceman has the advantage here, knowing full well that they are in the driver's seat. Gets 2 Chakram hits back to back. And the arm weak on that right hand side. Yam gets the distance to get the Phoenix back up. With 40 seconds left on the clock, Iceman has quite a nice lead here, and suddenly it's turning their way. Arm weak again on the right hand side, and Iceman is getting closer and closer to KO range. And a Chakram hit is definitely going to tip them right into that. And Yam hasn't even gotten anything on the board, and unfortunately that is going to be the KO or not. Sliver of health for Yam, and finally does go down. Iceman took a hit very early on, and Iceman turns that around to lead this set by a 0.0. Got a feel for Yam there. Yam was doing exceptionally well, really bringing the fight to Iceman, and did take the first point, but just could not secure the win. They got Iceman into critical on that second point. You were just looking for a couple more hits, but Iceman, well, there's a reason why this person has won 12 cups in their time. And we're gonna go straight back to DNA Lab. It's gonna be another Min mirror. both not going to really change much. Iceman is absolutely confident now with this setup. They know how Yam is playing. They know what they're bringing to the table. So Yam has to really mix things up a little bit here. The Phoenix certainly worked in the first point, but the second Iceman brought the chakram into play, it's just been countered non-stop, and none more so dominantly than that third and final point in the previous match. So we'll see what Yam can do this time, but again, caught out by another round, with the dragon just gets it hit in just as the tube falls down. Yam just needs to bring that little bit more quickness here, but is not going to get it because they get stunned again by the chakram. And another stun grab combination, and that is going to be a KO, my friends, right there. Stun into rush. And yeah, Iceman is on an absolute roll now. That is a perfect in our first match of the stream. And Iceman is going to just look to try and go a little bit further with this. Does finally take a little bit of damage. Yam has got to do everything in their power to try and just stop Iceman's momentum here, because once Iceman gets like this, once they just start becoming more and more dominant, it feels like an uphill battle. Well, never mind an uphill, it feels like a mountain that you're climbing. And that rush is going to be predicted as well. Iceman going to block out the whole of that. Not give Yam a chance to really get back into this match. The Power Soul is just not being useful in the slightest. And the Phoenix is just being countered out by the chakram every single time. Yam can't even get the Dragon Arm back up. Meanwhile, Iceman hasn't lost it for pretty much most of this match. Dragon again, gonna just quickly nip on through. Yam didn't have the shield up. Tube goes down. Yam has not got many places left to hide, and they know once again they are in KO range if Iceman can land another rush, and there it is. That's going to be a KO, and after a very good start in that first match, Iceman just turns it straight on its head and just doesn't even give Yam a chance to get back into that. It ends 2-0, and Yam is going to drop straight down into the underground bracket. Such a good start from Yam, but just Iceman's pressure, just way too much for them in the end. And that is how it's going to go. So with that, Iceman will progress into the semi-final. I can tell you that Commentator has bested Yoshi Bowser by 2-0, so it means we already have our first underground match that can be started. And that is going to be between Yam and Yoshi Bowser. Still waiting on results from Okrim and Aloya, and as a result, Rifa will be taking on Alimento. So our next match will be, I believe, Grimwood versus Cossalina. So keep it in round 2 for the moment, and we'll see how this works. But yeah, kind of got a feel for Yam there. I think when you take a point against somebody like Iceman very early on, you get that little bit of confidence. You think that this might be it. And to be fair, it felt like it should have been. Like, they were able to get Iceman into critical, and I think at that point, Iceman just turned it straight around. Managing to finally edge away, especially with that rush. That rush brought them right back into contention. I think at that point, Iceman knew that it was theirs to lose at that point. You know, you had to go for the rush, because if you lose that point, it's pretty much, well, it's over at that point, because it goes in Yam's direction. So it's like, you commit to the rush, you get what you need, you get the damage, and it's like, okay, I just need a stun. If I hit just a single stun and I'm close enough, the grab will do the rest. And that's why you play off stuff like the chakram. If you play with Min Min, playing with a stun arm like the chakram is just, it's a no-brainer. You put that on the dragon arm. If it hits, it stuns. If you're close enough, and you should be close enough, the grab will either do good damage, throw off their momentum, or if they're already in critical, is probably going to be a KO. Okie dokie, so it looks like we do indeed have our next lobby up. I'll just quickly join in. And there we go. So we are good to go. Everybody is ready, and looks like they've got their stages banned and set up. And I hope you like DNA Lab, because it looks like this is the EU Arms Challenge Lab, because we are going straight back there. It'd be like that sometimes. Every now and then we get a stage that consistently comes up throughout a tournament, and today it looks like it's going to be Lab. So Kozolina and Grimwood. Kozolina looking to try and make it into top 3 again. They're aiming to do so for the first time since the 32nd Cup, so it's been quite a while. They've only came third once. They are definitely looking for any kind of footing into there. If they can get into the semi-finals, they'll certainly be in with a chance to do so. They've still got a fair amount of work to do, but it's still very much early days. Grimwood, naturally, in the meantime, is one of our former winners, has won this twice. It's been a bit of a tipsy-turvy few tournaments, it must be said. But Grimwood is definitely in with a fighting chance on trying to make it free. And Grimwood is going to come in with a nice welcome surprise here. Grimwood's going to be on the left side of your screen on this match, and Kozolina on the right. It will be Grimwood coming in with Mechanica, Lockjaw, and Triblast. No, double Triblast. Alright then, Mechanica. I see where this is going. Kozolina, meanwhile, uh-oh. Yeah, I was wondering what was going on there. I do apologise. We've started on Spring Stadium. Not quite DNA Labs. That was interesting. That was very interesting. I guess it wouldn't be a competition if at least one thing didn't go wrong, and yeah, well, so DNA Stadium or Spring Lab. Spring Lab sounds nice. I like that. But no, Spring Stadium not the choice. That is not part of the starters or the counter pick stages. So looks like we're going to try that again. Grimwood going to be on the left, Kozolina going to be on the right. They are going to stick with the same characters, and they should stick with the same arms, I do believe. And there we go. Right, that's much better. So, right, properly this time. Grimwood coming in with Mechanica, Triblast, and Lockjaw. Kozolina on the right of your screen as Twintel, coming in with the Nade and the Thunderbird. And Mechanica being a heavyweight character means that unless you get the shock in, they're gonna pretty much just be unfazed by any charge shot that you're flinging, although the nades are gonna do big damage. It's gonna take a little bit more than that. It's gonna take a good consistent 1-2 punch and maybe a spark grab combination to take Mechanica off her feet, and is immediately gonna come in with the rush, landed on Twintel for 375 damage. They Lockjaw, one of the more unique arms in this game, fires off a fireball projectile when charged and then follows in through with the rest of the punch. And Kozolina not having a great time against this combo. The Triblast obviously just a nightmare for a character like Twintel to deal with, especially with how much coverage it deals with. And that is going to be a quick KO for Grimwood, who is starting as they mean to go on. Kozolina's got quite a bit of work to do. We're going to try and stick with that Nade Thunderbird combination. The Thunderbird does work, but Mechanica's going to get a big time grab immediately. That's going to put Kozolina on the back burner. Nade, always a good arm to have, does its own explosive damage just like the Triblast does. It's unguided, so a little bit more unpredictable, but the damage is certainly worth it. And then obviously you've got the Thunderbird that will curve around these tubes, much like how we saw with the Phoenix in the previous set. Except instead of it being firepower, it's all about that shock factor. Trying to leave that paralysis on the Mechanica to set up for a grab and maybe even a rush. Grimwood going to come in with the rush, speaking of, but is not going to get it this time around, just chip damage. Arm weak on the right hand side though, so Kozolina needs to be a little bit careful, trying to bring the pressure to Grimwood. Trying to also force them in a position where they can come in with the rush and maybe land it on the second time of asking. Gets a nice grab though. I'll keep Grimwood on their turns. Coselina just on the cusp of entering 50%. Grimwood does get shocked, and Coselina will take that as a nice grab combination and make that a second one straight away. And quickly, Coselina right back in control of things. But is going to get shut down by a grab from Grimwood as well. So it really comes down to if Coselina decides to go for that rush. They kind of have to if they want this KO, but Grimwood now with one of their own, and that was the last thing Coselina needed. However, got a little bit fortunate with the bounce, comes in, another big time grab, 3 seconds left on the clock. Coselina not going to get the grab, instead it's going to go the way of Grimwood. And Grimwood, well, what on the wall happened there? Well, that is going to be a win for Grimwood in either case. Not quite sure what happened there on the connection, but in either case, Grimwood does indeed win that by a point to 0. Looks like we're going to wait for Coselina to come back in. And yep, there she is. And Grimwood takes that one. A bit of an odd moment there towards the end. Coselina was so close, but unfortunately the grab just going a little bit wide, not going where she thought Grimwood was going to go to. Grimwood sidestepping it, and obviously Coselina was just too close to them. A grab quickly picks that for Grimwood and seals that point in their favour. It took Coselina a little bit to get started there, but once she got there, she was certainly starting to throw it back into the swing of things, but it felt like they should have really gone for the rush that little bit earlier. Like, they definitely had it. They had, I mean, it's always better to look back on things in hindsight, but that shock that they got that initially put Grimwood on the cusp of critical, I think if they'd have gone for the rush then and then gone for those grab plays, it would have been a very different end to that point. But in either case, Grimwood does lead the set by a point to 0. We're going to see Coselina switch from Twintail to Lola, coming in with the Hydra and the Ice Dragon. On a stage like Mausoleum, it's an interesting choice to bring the dragon in, so we'll see what happens here and see if that can stall out Mechanica long enough. And obviously the Hydra is a fire element. If it is charged and it does hit Grimwood, it will immediately knock them down. That's just what the arm is designed to do. It's a very good counter for heavyweight characters. Grab not going to connect on this occasion. Both with rush ready to go. Got a slight bit of clip, and Coselina able to get to the side. Gets a little bit of a break and also stops that rush with a nice timed grab. Going to come in with the rush as well, but it's going to get caught in mid-air as well. So both combatants not going to get anything for their rush. Hydra is going to at least fling on through, but the lockjaw is going to keep Coselina on her toes. She's doing everything she can to get back into this match, and to be fair, she's doing alright so far. This stage definitely proven a little bit better, and the counter switch has certainly helped. Lola is significantly more bouncy. Does still have to worry about the Triblast. Is going to protect most of those. Couldn't quite get the counter on 2 separate occasions. I'll be a little bit annoyed with that, but with 15 seconds still to go, it's just about Grimwood's lead, and does manage to get a little bit of a hit here. Now it all comes down to this health. I think Coselina has it, and now she most definitely is in the driver's seat with 3 seconds to go. I don't think there's anything Grimwood can do, and Coselina will take this point and hold on to rush going into the second point. It was crucial she got the first point here. It puts her in the advantage. And Grimwood going to bring in a nade now to go alongside that lockjaw. So away goes the Triblast. I'm going to go for that unguided, unpredictable goodness. And both with a rush already available. And you don't want to be going down too many times on that platform. It will bring out the trampoline. And if you thought Lola was bouncy beforehand, wait until the trampoline gets involved. You'll see her bounce all over the place. Shield going to be up just in the nick of time again. Both arms weak though, and there is the trampoline, and Mechanica immediately jumped straight into it, and that put her in straight away out of position. And this is all Coselina here. This is a big advantage for her, and rush comes out as well, juggles in the air, gets the KO, practically a near perfect for her, and ties this set up 1 apiece. That was exactly what Kozlina needed. She needed that kind of a bounce back, no pun intended, since she brought out the Lola, but it was exactly what she needed. And there we go. So this time it'll be Kozlina to ban the 2 stages. Grimwood will pick the next one. And in all fairness to Grim, that wasn't that bad. It was just, unfortunately, the second that trampoline comes out, the Dragon Den suddenly comes into its element. It's like the Dragon excels at that range. Suddenly the trampoline means the Mechanica either has to take the risk of going onto the trampoline knowing full well that Dragon is likely going to hit you by the time you start getting into position, or go the long way around knowing full well that Lola has the mobility that can just pretty much take her anywhere. And obviously with the bounce she can waddle along with that shield as well. It's a lot harder to deal with a character like Lola the second that trampoline comes up. We are going to see Sparring come out, and on top of that, Grimwood are going to make a switch of their own. Here comes Coil. Coil loves to have that high ground just like Lola does, but can stay up there a little bit longer, and also has access to a third arm. It's randomized when she charges up. So it'll either be 2 chakrams on the field, or it'll be 2 nades on the field. You just never know. She also has the invisibility and immediately using it to good effect, surprising Lola and taking her straight down. Although Kozlina does have the health lead at the moment, that can all very much change. Hydra is still going to be a nightmare for Coil though. That added verticality is going to make sure that she cannot stay that way for too long. Both with Rush available. Kozlina backed into the corner, not where you want to be. 260 damage from the Rush. Gonna put the pressure on Kozlina as 2 nades come out. Like I said, a nade is an unpredictable arm as it is. 2 of them just, they kind of like cover up any kind of weakness. But so far, Kozlina has the call for it. Gets Grimwood into critical condition. And it's going to try and hold on to this Rush by the looks of it. Actually, no, does go for it. Got a little bit of a clip with the Hydra, but not going to get anything more than that. Arm weak on the right-hand side for Grimwood. They do have Rush, but they probably won't use this unless they can get Kozlina a little bit more closer to that critical condition. But the Hydra is going to catch the nade as it's charged, forcing the self-destruct and doing enough damage to see Coil drop. And that nade is going to be immediately withdrawn. And straight into a Toaster is Grimwood's reply. Toaster Chakram. And not only gets scoring with the Rush, also lands a good time grab as well immediately. Pretty much halves Kozlina's health. Just got to work on back once again. They did this in the last point though, so you feel like Kozlina knows what she's doing here. Just has to keep an eye out for that Chakram, and obviously that Toaster is not going to help them in the slightest. Ice Dragon Hydra still going to be the call for Kozlina. If they can get the juggle up, they can do serious damage with that laser as Coil comes ever closer. And Coil's already got another Rush charge, goes straight for it. Just going to bounce off the shield. Nothing more than that. Hydra runs straight through Coil. Kozlina playing a very patient game here. Gets another chill. Goes for the grab. Baits out the Chakram, but somehow doesn't get full use of the Rush. You hate to see that happen again. They managed to clip Grimwood, who just went to the side. You hate to see that kind of thing happen, but having said that, Kozlina has managed to pull this health back. Although having said that, Grimwood is going to score another big grab. That's exactly what they needed. They put Kozlina on the cusp of crit, make that into crit, and Grimwood will have a Rush charged up here. Gets the grab as well with 20 seconds left on the clock. Kozlina knows one more hit is going to do it, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Chakram will catch the stun. Well, one apiece in the set, one apiece in the final points. So whoever wins this takes it all. And what is going to be the answer here? Grimwood's going to go double Toaster, which essentially for Coil is triple Toaster, because it guarantees a Toaster on that charged arm. Kozlina not going to change from the Hydra Ice Dragon setup, so they're going to have a lot of boxing to try and avoid here. They are going to have to dance pretty well here, but then again, Lola is designed to do that. Got the chill on Grimwood. What just happened there? Do we call that down to lag? Because I'm honestly not entirely sure what just happened there. Kozlina really should have had a hit, but didn't get it at all. Grimwood going to come in with a Rush. Kozlina does just about have health lead, but it's got to be very, very careful here. Gets the freeze on Grimwood. Another little bit of a poke. Just about keeping this kind of momentum. They just need to play it nice and patient. Gets the arm weak on the left-hand side. All of the toasts are gonna go. And you just see that Kozlina just has to just wait. They know they can't really outbox these kind of things. They just have to use Lola's mobility to just keep to the side. Keep getting these crucial Hydra hits in. Running over Grimwood. 30 seconds left on the clock. Gonna bite for the rush. But again, can't quite get anything of it. Does manage to get Grimwood into critical, which means that Grimwood has so much work to do in these next 20 seconds. Gets a grab, exactly what they needed. Kozlina on the cusp of the halfway mark. Grimwood knows they need to get a decent hit in here. Gets another grab, sends Kozlina past the halfway mark. Another grab with 6 seconds to go, and they know Kozlina is in absolute danger. Rush is going to come out, and that's going to do it. It's going to KO it on time, and Grimwood's going to steal it from Kozlina. Oh no, you just sensed it was coming with every passing second, and Grimwood swipes it right at the death. Oh, you gotta feel for Kozlina. She absolutely had that, but Grimwood, with 20 seconds left on the go, got 2 crucial grabs and just sent it away from her with that final rush. It has to happen. It just had to happen. And we can also tell you that Yoshi Bowser is out as well. Yoshi has been knocked out by Yam 2-0, so Yoshi is going to be our first casualty of the tournament. It'll be Okrim versus Yam in Underground Round 2. And it means we have our semi-final sorted as well, as Okrim defeated Eloy by 2-1, so that sounded like it was a close set. And then reigning champion Rafa went on to beat Okrim by 2-0. Rafa beating Alimento 2-0 as well. So the only match not going to that 2-1 was the match that we just saw, which is Grimwood Kozlina. So our first semi-final is going to be on the way. And it is going to be Rafa versus Iceman for our first semi-final. So, reigning champion Rafa versus 12-time winner Iceman. It should be a very interesting set of that, there is no doubt, and especially since it happens so early on as well. And it's going to be interesting to see how both take this. Both got a 2-0 win. Iceman against Yam 2-0, Rafa against Okrim 2-0. But we've seen that Rafa has had quite the resurgence as of late, especially with everything that happened in the previous tournaments. Always been good to see. And it looks like we... the bands are just about going on now, and it sounds like we have... yep. Kozlina is out of the tournament. Eloy is going through on a bye, I'm afraid. Kozlina has chosen to drop out of the tournament, so it will be Alimento versus Eloy in the Underground Round 2 alongside Okrim versus Yam. So that's going to be a very interesting Underground bracket, and we'll keep you up to date as to what will be happening down there as we go along. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and start on Mausoleum. Should be a lot of fun in either case. Hopefully you're all enjoying yourself so far. And once we are ready to go, we will have our first semi-final underway. Our second semi-final will involve Rafa and Grimwood, so it'll be interesting to see how this winner's final is going to shape up. Remember that these are still best of threes, just as a heads up. These are still best of 3 matches. It'll only be the finals themselves, the winner's final, underground final, and the grand final that will all be operated on the best of 5s. So for the time being, we'll have Rafa on the left, coming in with the Kid Cobra, coming in with that clapback and the popper as well. So a very interesting combination here. And Iceman, meanwhile, sticking with the Min, sticking with that Chakram and Ice Jacket. And look at how aggressive Cobra is playing, especially with this kind of combination. Yes, the Chakram can get around the shield-orientated weapons of the clapback and also the Guardian. But with how Rafa's playing, you wouldn't know that because they are just being right in Min-Min's face with this. So remember, the clapback, once it's out, it can basically just send an arm that hits it right back into the person who threw it. So it won't really happen with the dragon, but if it does somehow catch the Chakram, it will go straight back into Iceman, who is going to come in with a rush, sends Rafa straight back down. The popper is also a very quick arm as well, so you see every single time Rafa goes right up towards Min, they're coming in with that popper as well, just to try and catch Iceman out. They were working it well to a point, and does manage to get the rush as well. 305 puts them into contention here, but has to be careful. A grab might still do it. However, said that, they juggled Iceman beautifully. Doesn't quite get the follow-up grab. Gets caught as well. One more hit will certainly KO Rafa, and unfortunately it's going to be the laser straight through the heart. And Iceman will take the initiative in this first point. Rafa, thinking about changing up things, decides to go for a boxing, a little bit of a more boxing orientated style. Going to see double toaster. Iceman going to stick with the Chakram and the Ice Dragon, forcing the arm to be weak on the right hand side. Breaks it in the process with another perma charged up Chakram hit. And also has the rush as well. They are not intimidated by the aggressive playstyle that Rafa is bringing to the table. And to be fair, bringing in double toaster is actually a good decision here, knowing full well that if Iceman does get the arm up, they can knock it straight back down. And in a rush fight, Rafa will win out if they can get it going. And they do so, stopping Iceman's attack and coming in with one of their own. And they have the health lead here as they punch Iceman into critical. Big time grab coming, hits the deck very hard because that's exactly what Cobra is designed to do. Their grabs hit that a little bit harder. Ice Dragon does get the hit, slows Rafa down a little bit, catches with the stun. That's exactly what Iceman needed. And as they come back up, they are going to take a face full of that toaster. And it puts reigning champion Rafa right back into this. One apiece in the first point. Who is going to take the lead in the set? Double of the toasters once again for Rafa. Iceman going to bring a spark into this fight in place of that dragon as the trampoline comes out for the second time in this tournament. And Rafa not afraid to go for it, but Iceman waited for it. Came in with the rush, 325 damage. And Rafa's got it all to do here, but you see how mobile Kid Cobra can be. But that Chakram is certainly not helping them in the slightest. Neither is the Sparky. Iceman landed brilliant punches. Well-timed execution. Finally does go down to the toaster, so no more perma-charge on that. And Rafa won't have to worry about it as much, but also knows that any more further damage could still yet take this away. Repels out the Sparky that was oncoming. 320 damage with the rush. Puts Iceman into critical. Look at how aggressive Rafa is playing here. Gets another punch. They're on the trampoline, but Iceman almost has critical. Almost has rush. Grab! Connect! What a comeback from Rafa! Reigning champ Rafa shows you how it's done. Hanging on by the skin of his teeth and leads this set by 1-0. How close do you want your sets? How close do you want your first match in the semi-final to be? Because that couldn't be any closer. I thought Iceman was going to turn that on its head and actually walk away with that win, but Rafa somehow found the way through. Iceman, you just felt, was waiting for that rush. It's like the second that rush would be available, you just sensed that Iceman was just going to go for it. But it just didn't come up in time, and Rafa not only got a couple of well-timed hits, but that grab sealed the deal. As we wait to see what the response is going to be. And we are going to see our first counter pick of the day. Oh, we got some wrecks outside. Hopefully that doesn't bleed through too much. And it will be Scrapyard that will be making an appearance. Both going to stick with their respective fighters. Going to be Cobra versus Min Min. Chakram, Sparky, Ice Dragon on Min Min's side, so nothing's going to switch there. However, Rafa is going to switch up. No Toaster in the back this time around. We've got the Popper and the Burchuck. Also probably worth noting, the Clapback also switched out as well. Scrapyard, a little bit more, well, a very different stage from what we've been seeing so far. Has the massive high elevation, has the two pillars in the middle. It's going to be a little bit more of a chaotic stage, and we'll see what they both bring to the table. So far, the Birdchuck isn't quite beating out the ramp, but that Popper is going to make sure that Min Min doesn't get any kind of leverage on that and get another big time grab. It does start to add up, but those 1-2 hits from Iceman, that's all they need. It gives them enough time to quickly back up and get that Dragon Arm charged up. And you notice that it is once again on the Chakram as it twists and turns around the pillars. Both on relatively same health. Iceman has the lead just about, both now with Rush available. So we'll see if either of them want to use it early. Probably not, they'll probably wait until they're in KO range, much like how Iceman currently is. Another successful charged up Popper hit. Both of the pillars are now down. Iceman, crucially in critical, cannot afford to take, well, definitely won't want to take a grab. And anything at this point will seal it for Rafa, and it's the Popper. The quick firing Popper that makes it to Min Min before the Chakram can get into position. And Rafa is a point away from booking their ticket into Winners Final. If you can beat someone like Iceman, you know you're worthy of holding this cup, and it will be a great showing. Iceman has it all to do, going to come in with that Sparky, dropping that Dragon. Clearly not helping them in the slightest there. And so far, Rafa, just the mobility that Cobra possesses, just how they slip and slide all over the place. And with the left arm down, there was nothing Iceman could do. There was no way they were going to block that. And already on the cusp of critical, they are going to bounce back with a 335 rush though. Finally take Rafa down past the 75% mark. But having said that, Iceman's got a ways to go. But they're starting to get some key hits here. It's the Sparky that it's on the Dragon Arm, but that Popper again, the quick firing Popper just picks Min Min out of the air. And once again, they've lost the use of it. And now, just one more hit is all the Rafa's looking for. Up close and personal with the Cobra. Nowhere for Iceman to go. And Rafa, reigning champion Rafa, is gonna knock out 12-time winner Iceman down into the underground bracket. GG's and well played to both. Well. So that just makes the winners final that little bit more interesting, because it means that no matter what happens from here, Rafa is in top 3 and Iceman is going to have to fight just that little bit more to see if they can book their ticket back up there. Coming up next, it is going to be Riffer versus Grimwood. I hope you're all excited. Hopefully you're all having fun. It's always great to have people here, both as players and as spectators. You all get to see what ARMS is, you get to see what everybody in the community are up to, and how viable it is as a competitive fighting environment. So let me just get everything set up. It is Riffer versus Grimwood. In our second semi-final. And it looks like these two are ready to go almost immediately. There we go. Everybody is set and ready to go. We're going to be starting ourselves on Mausoleum. Riffer will be on the left. Grimwood will be on the right. And we're going to see two fighters that honestly we don't really see that much of. It's always nice to see Mechanica, but Masango is a rarity these days. And Riffer is coming in with the Masango, coming in with the Chiller and the Phoenix. Grimwood gonna come in with that pop and also gonna come in with the slam as well. Another curved arm. And Riffa already gonna equip the blue mask. That'll speed up Riffa, but immediately loses it because Grimwood is not allowing them to have any say on that. Gets the chill with the chiller, but Grimwood knew that that grab attempt was coming and quickly fights on through it. It's a very quick combination that Grimwood has gone for here. Obviously the slam, if it hits, can juggle. The popper can also do the juggling antics, so it's gonna be quick firing from Grimwood, and also that rush is gonna juggle big time, as you can see. And the slam, just so much damage as well, and Riffa, just like that, is in critical condition. And the 11th time winner of this cup is already staring down a very hard obstacle in the form of this Mechanical. Grimwood is just loving this, is finally going to get caught by the chill, and the Phoenix does finally come into play. Riffa with that blue mask helps up that speed just that little bit more, makes them a little bit harder to hit. But if Grimwood could just find any kind of hit here, they'll be happy with it. But the rush is going to come out. 300 damage puts Grimwood on the cusp of critical. Does finally get a hit with the popper. They're just looking for one more hit. Arm weak on the right hand side. If they can force a shield break now, that would be great. But they can't allow Riffa to get back into this. This should be a shield break, and it somehow is not. Grimwood actually gets caught and finally gets the hit through with the popper. For a moment, for just a moment, I thought Riffa was about to steal that. But not this time around. Grimwood just about hangs on for the finishing touch. Popper just gonna miss on this occasion. Riffa coming in with the same as well, both rocking. No, sorry, Grimwood has switched out arm. It has switched to the chakram, and the trampoline once again makes an appearance, and Grimwood a little bit overcommitting there. 320 damage from that rush as a result. And now it's all about power for Riffa, and a punch through the grab. It's going to take a little bit of a knock at themselves and starts up the cool chain. Grimwood cannot afford to let Riffa get too much back into this. Gets another hit. Grimwood on the cusp of critical, and every time Grimwood commits to jumping across the trampoline, Riffa is able to pick them out every single time, and another chilled hit. Grimwood is finding it quite hard to get back into this, and they're just a little too far away to go for these grabs. Riffa is being incredibly patient, showing you just how well Riffa can handle things. Again, just like Iceman, they haven't won it over 10 times for a reason. Grimwood gonna go back to that slam. Keeping hold of the popper though, definitely favoring, especially since they don't really have any other arm to really outbox the chiller. It's all about trying to hit Riffa first with this setup. And Riffa is not going to switch anything from the chiller, and the Phoenix now has that yellow mask up. They both have rush ready to go. So again, just decides, this comes down to when they blink, and Riffa is just allowing Grimwood to move into position. Both are going to commit to the rush, but unfortunately Riffa was always going to have advantage there. The chiller, like I said, is going to outbox anything that Grimwood has. And finally does get caught by one of those arms, but look at the damage that Riffa has already done to Grimwood. Grab not gonna quite hit. They've got that little added protection there. As you can see, it just float on away. You now have to wait for it again. Arm weak on the right hand side, and already getting Grimwood into critical. Time for that added mobility, and again it's just Riffa is just baiting Grimwood into moving into a set location, and just has the read for it every time. However, Grimwood is finally going to get a rush, and this will turn things around quite nicely. Having said that, Riffa does have rush. All they need to do is land one more hit, and this should do it. And there you go. Grimwood again trying to go for these long range grabs, and I'm just having questions about it. And Riffa is going to take that point and leads this set by a point to 0. It is a little unfortunate that was the way it played out, but I feel like Grimwood just a little bit too happy going for those long range grabs. Every single time they went for it, Riffa was just ready to either block it out or just rush through it. It's unfortunate that's the way it went, but it just played into Riffa's hands towards the end. Grimwood gonna come into the second match with max brass. We've seen Grimwood use brass so many times River gonna come in with a Sparky and a Seeky, so changing things up as well. I think River had a feeling that Grimwood would probably come in with the brass. It's double roaster, I do believe, from Grimwood. Yep, double roaster, so they are like the Nade, no guidance system whatsoever. But the damage that they do, and obviously they're a fire element as well, so they'll knock Missandei straight down. So any use of that mask is going to be immediately gone. If they can get any kind of hit in, they are going to force River into the hard pocket, which is not where Missandei would like to be here. Grab just a little bit too early. Going to give River a chance to come straight back into this and deal a lot of damage. 410. The missile rush is absolutely deadly in this game, and you're showing and you're getting the chance to see why. Brass will activate their perma buff state. They activate it once they hit critical. Their hits are that little bit harder, and so are the grabs. 170 damage sends River into critical, and wait, what? What? River got the KO. River got the KO from that. How did that happen? How did that happen? I'm absolutely speechless, and Grimwood, I think, is just about as speechless as we are, because my word, that was some shenanigans and a half. I'm going to have to look back on the replay, but we're going to have to focus on the here and now. River is absolutely dominating this point now as a result of all of that. Grimwood into critical, has the perma buff, but River hasn't even gotten past the 75% mark. Arm weak on the left hand side. Grab will finally turn that around. Grimwood has rush ready to go. River with the Phoenix and the Chiller, and look at how mad Grimwood is. They could just come in straight in. River gonna take that rush. 240 damage. Down they go. Also into critical. Brass is not messing around here. Another big time grab. They're just looking for a couple of hits, but both in very interesting positions. But Brass is gonna finally pull on through, and it's one apiece here. Grimwood is certainly not out of this yet, fueled by everything that happened in that previous point. Now coming in with double Chillers, going to see if they can just outright stall out this Missandei, but they're not going to have anything of it either. Comes in with the rush, Phoenix and Chiller on hand, sends Grimwood all the way down past the halfway mark, but Brass really does become that little bit more scary once they activate that perma buff state in that critical condition. So it's really just how much damage can Grimwood do before they get taken down, and that Phoenix is going to knock them into critical and also rob them of their rush as well. They're trying to keep River down on the lower ground here, but so far the Phoenix and the Chiller are both just punching down Grimwood, and River will take the set in the end by 2-0. But I think we all know what the talking point is going to be here. How in the world did River win that initial point? My word, what even happened there? Because I thought that River did manage to get a hit on Grimwood, but it wasn't enough to get the KO, and Grimwood was still coming in with the rest of their rush. So I was so confused when the KO came up. It's like, Grimwood got the KO, and then Grimwood didn't get the KO. It was River who got the KO. It was very confusing. It was very, very confusing. But yeah, here we go. It's River versus Rafa in winners final. Oh, here we go again, my friends. Here we go again. So, we've been here before. We know exactly what to expect between these two. We've seen these two fight before. We've seen how close these two can get in each and every set. So it's all gonna be down to who can keep their nerve here. Remember, Rafa comes in as reigning champion, looking to win their 3rd title. And ironically enough, and a little bit of like recent kind of history, the last person to successfully retain the cup was Iceman, who won the 41st and the 42nd cup. Since then, the cup has gone to Sheddy, Riffa, Grimwood, Jr., back to Riffa, and then Rafa. So Rafa's going for that little bit more history as well, to try and add their name to the amount of people who have actually successfully defended the cup. Yes, they have to win the winners final and the grand final to do so. But if you can take out Riffa, then who's going to stop you? So we'll see where this plays out. We'll also give you updates as to what's happening elsewhere. Ockham has defeated Yam by 2 points to 0, so Yam is out of the competition. So too is Alimento. Eloria beating Alimento 2 points to 0 as well. So that underground bracket looking very spicy indeed as we get ourselves in to the winners final. Riffa on the left of your screen, coming in with the Masango, Chilla and Phoenix on hand. Meanwhile, it's going to be Kid Cobra as usual for Rafa, Popper and Burchuck as we head on back to Buster Beach. Chilla immediately going to be applied on Masango, and look how quickly Rafa just immediately gets on, trying to bait out Riffa and successfully doing so, really doing the big time mind games. And Riffa's just not getting a handle on this match whatsoever. Finally does get a poke through with the Chilla. Needs to land stuff a little bit more consistently here. Cobra is just being a little too in Masango's face. Riffa needs to find a way of cooling down this snake, because these hits are going to start adding up, and the Burchuck, beautifully timed, stops Riffa's rush dead in its tracks, and another successful popper hit. You just feel like Rafa is probably going to try and hold on to rush if they can get the KO in this kind of circumstance. Remember how fast and how quick the popper is. Yes, it can be outboxed by anything, but its speed is its advantage. That's the whole point. And there it is, shining ever so brightly. Fires on through after Riffa has to commit. Forced into the hot pocket, nowhere to go, and Rafa has advantage as we go into the second point. And Riffa is going to bring in a little bit of a twist, and hello Biff! I hope you like seeing the ARMS mascot, because the Bifflet is out in full force, and so too is Rafa's rush. 315 damage already sends Riffa past the halfway mark, and the popper is getting in on the rush denial action. Riffa was way too close to Rafa, and the popper was going to hit nothing but Masango. And Riffa really does have to do this the hard way now. On the cusp of critical, Rafa has quite the health lead here and is just looking for a couple more hits, keeping Riffa tucked into this hot pocket. There's nowhere for Masango to go. And all Rafa needs is one more point. And the Burchuck is not going to land. It is going to get pulsed out by the use of the rush. And hello Biff, it's good to see you again. But it's okay. Blindly going through the rush. Masango nowhere to go. Stuck in the corner. And reigning champion Rafa is going to lead the set by 1-0. I don't normally say this about Riffa, because Riffa is an extraordinarily experienced player at this game. They're consistently at the top of the in-game dashboard and a lot of the tournament as well. But it felt like he just couldn't quite get into that match there. Every single time Rafa had an answer for it, whether it was the Burchuck cancelled the rush out or the popper cancelled the rush out. Like I said, it can be outboxed by anything. But up close and personal, it's the speed that matters, and the second Riffa activated that rush, Rafa was in the exact right place to stop that rush from happening in the slightest. So Riffa's got some thinking to do here, and especially if you're Rafa, you've got so much confidence right now that you also have to be careful here. Like, the way that you're playing, Riffa will slowly catch on to how to counter this. Like, they're definitely going to be thinking about if they want to switch up characters, if they want to switch up arms, and Rafa's going to have to come into this going, okay, He's now going to expect me to maybe do something like this. So I either have to mix this up or maybe throw in a slight deviation from what I'm currently doing and yet still keep my main strategy intact. We'll see how this plays out. As we're going to see Buster Beach come back in again. Riffa, not going to change character, going to stick with Masango. But will we see some arm changes? And we are going to see some arm changes. There is a megawatt in the back there for Riffa, and Riffa's going to bring it out. And would you believe it? Rafa is going to bring it out as well. I feel like Rafa anticipated Riffa might bring in a heavier arm. They both brought in the megawatt. And Rafa is going to come in with, well, a combination that we've seen before. It's pretty effective. A lightweight, fast arm in the popper and a heavy moving wall that is the megawatt. So wind and shock is what Rafa is playing with. Riffa playing with the chill aspect. Not as fast as the popper, but again, we'll be able to outbox it if they do decide to commit to range. Both will come out of it, and it's Riffa who gets the better of the rush exchange on this occasion. Like I said, the chiller will outbox the popper, so as long as the watts just hit each other, all the chiller needs to do is just hit. And Rafa is not going to be able to go any further than that. Caught out by Riffa in the end, and they will take the initiative. So what is going to be the reply? The answer is nothing. Neither player will change anything. The watts just balance each other out. So it's really just a case of, can Riffa be consistent with the popper? But so far, the answer is no, because Riffa is just getting the freeze on him every single time. And the rush is not going to get rolled out this time around. But the popper couldn't do the damage to knock Riffa off. An uncharged little hit from the popper is not going to do it. And Riffa just kept on going. And Rafa already into critical condition. As Riffa quickly bounces on back. Rafa gonna push the initiative. Finally flings in with 360 damage. Quickly turns the tables on this, but still needs a little bit more. And Riffa is just hanging on in there. Popper finally pokes on through again. Rafa just looking for these quick little 1-2 setups. And does get another hit. Riffa does have rush if they want to commit to it. And Rafa will know this. And it has to be careful. They need to cancel out that megawatt at all possible moments. And here comes the rush. And there is the KO. Rafa was trying to sidestep it, but Riffa was holding onto it, waiting for the hit. And just like that, this set will be tied up 1 apiece. And whilst all of that is going on, we can update you as to what is happening in the underground bracket. Eloria is out, being bested by Iceman 2.2-0. Grimwood and Aquim are still facing off against each other, I do believe. So Iceman will await the winner of that match in the underground semi-final. Meanwhile, back to business. Riffa is already locked in. They don't want to switch anything. They are confident with what they have. But Riffa just taking a little bit of time. Taking a little bit of time thinking about what they want to change here. Neither player are gonna switch off their characters. I'm not surprised in the slightest. We also want to see that megawatt in the back. There's a nade back there for Cobra as well if they want to bring that out, but they're not going to. They are going to stick with the current setup as we head to Mausoleum. Bit of a breather from Buster Beach as we head into match number 3. So far, Riffa off to another good start. You just feel like ever since they got this combination in, it's just becoming that little bit more consistent for Riffa, knowing full well that as long as they can just keep the popper under control with the chiller, they'll be able to fling on in, stall Rafa out, and just set them up for either a grab or a rush. And they are going to fling in with another rush. This time around, Rafa going to just be a little bit more cautious. Just going to keep sliding to make sure that Riffa can't hit them this time. But immediately jumps in, and Riffa just has the call to go for these megawatt pokes that just keep Rafa under control. And another good grab, but they still got a ways back here. Does have rush on the table, and again repels it out. We're going to commit to it now. Juggles Riffa in the air, 350 damage. They take their health lead with this, and they're still playing up close and personal. Another quick popper hit, but the chiller again going to catch Rafa off guard. And the popper is going to fling through this time round. Riffa had overcommitted, and Rafa had already moved to the side. out of the way, and that was only going to be a KO from there. So Rafa has the point that they need, and again, just both of the watts just charged up and both bounce harmlessly off each other. Rush coming out, going to juggle up Rafa for 325 damage. Rafa with pretty much no damage on the board here. So it's the start that they needed. Red Mask giving them all of the power and confidence they need. They're going to take a couple of bit of hits from the Watt, but they're not going to keel over, not just yet. Certainly no shock to rob them of their abilities just yet. And arm weak on the right hand side for Rafa. Going to completely be destroyed and taken down in the process. Both with Rush available to go. Rafa knows full well that they're in a bit of a sticky situation. They really shouldn't have gone for the Rush first. Rifa was holding all the cards there, and it essentially means that Rifa will probably go into the next point with the advantage as well. There's nothing Rafa can do in this situation, and Rifa just straight up outboxes him. So one apiece in this set, one apiece in the third match. And you just feel like it's slowly starting to slip towards Rifa there. Rafa, you feel like you knew what Rafa was going for, but the Popper isn't going to get through the Watt. They're both going to balance each other out, but again, all the Chiller needs to do is just get out, and it will stop the Popper dead in its tracks. And so far, Rafa has got to do something a little different here if they want to take Rifa down with this combination. Trampoline might be coming out if enough a grab or knockdown happens on that central area. And Rafa won't mind that. And to be fair, we've seen Rifa deal with it as well. Rush, juggle up into the air. Rifa, big time damage, 365. And Rafa suddenly just needs one grab, and they will at least convert this nicely. Anything will do at this point that they know they need to just avoid everything. The Popper comes out. They are far enough to the side. Rifa just decided to commit anyway. And Rafa knew all they needed was a couple of seconds to get to the side as far out of reach as possible. And a cheeky little Popper hit means the reigning champ is 2-1 up in the winners final. And we can also have news that Okrim has knocked Grimwood out as well. 2 points to nils. A lot of 2-0s happening down in the underground bracket. In fact, they've all been 2-0s down in the underground bracket. So Iceman will take on Okrim in the underground semi-final. But like I said, back to where we are. Rafa versus Rifa. 2 points to 1 in this set. Rafa looking for one more win to book their ticket into grand final, which would be amazing for Rafa to achieve. Beating Iceman 2-0 is one thing. Beating Rifa in a best of 5 would be the icing on the, well, I say icing on the cake. The strawberries, or whatever fruit you desire on top of your cake, would be winning and retaining the title in the grand final. Rifa knows that they could do this. They're certainly happy with the combination that they're bringing to the table, but Rafa finally starting to get a little bit more consistent with this setup. Like, on one hand, they need to be a little bit more patient, but on the other hand, Kid Cobra. Kid Cobra is a very aggressive character in how you generally operate with, so it's just learning when to give Misango a bit of space. We are going to see both players drop the megawatts. Very interesting. So once again, Rafa had a feeling that Rifa might drop it, and he has done. And we're going to go right back to Mozart. No, we're not. What happened? Oh, that's what happened. Yep. Alright, we're not going back to Mausoleum. Wrong stage. Okay, so yeah, I just checked the Discord. The stage is going to be Viados. So we're going to see both of the counterpick stages make an appearance today, which is claps all around. It's always nice when we get both Scrapyard and Viados on the screen. Have we seen everything today? No, we haven't. We haven't seen Temple Grounds yet. That's weird. We haven't seen Temple Grounds at all yet today. That's very weird. Normally it comes up very early. But no, we're going to go to VoD, and yeah, both are going to switch away from that Watt. It's going to be Biffler and Chiller for Riffa. And we're going to see, well, we're going to see Biff's face first on Raffa's side, and then we're going to see the Nade and the Slap coming in. We're going to see the hottest of slaps. So, curved arm with a little bit of heat, so obviously if Riffa does get hit with it in its charged up state, Riffa will immediately hit the deck, which will be good. It's the equivalent of equipping the masks. It's the equivalent of the Min Dragon Arm strategy, where if you knock them down, they're not going to have it to play with for a little while longer. Riffa going to take all of that rush from Rafa, and Rafa in complete control here, forcing Riffa into the corner, not allowing them to come out in the slightest. Nade is going to come through, and Rafa is a point away from booking their ticket into Grand Final. Riffa going to bring in a curved arm of their own. It's going to be the Phoenix, so let's see which one is the better curve. Is it going to be the flighty path of the Phoenix, or is it going to be the hottest of them there slaps? Both going to still come in with a glove of some descript, but the Chiller so far hasn't been able to really work well here. The Nade is just about keeping it under control, but this rush is going to find its mark. 340 damage, I do believe that was. And Riffa managing to fire on back, but that rush, oh my goodness, the rush somehow did not hit. They were able to reflect part of that attack out, but somehow the rest of it did not go through. Riffa got it just in the nick of time. That is the danger of the slaps in that rush state. It takes a little while longer for it to hit. And Rafa is going to concede this point to Riffa and puts it right back into contention. They still just need that 1 point, but Riffa knows if they can swipe this away and take it to match 5, it will be pretty interesting. So, both are going to work out what they want to do here. Rafa going to stick with that Nade and the Slap. Riffa going to stick with the Chiller and the Phoenix. And so far, it's the Slap that gets the initiative first of all, and actually forces in with the explosion as well. Not the start that Riffa would have liked here. Equips the Yellow Mask, almost gets it knocked off immediately, and actually gets the better of it. Hits in with the charged up Phoenix, which the Cobra is immediately going to lose. But another quick little 1-2 slap, and suddenly it's right back into control of Rafa. Riffa in critical condition. A rush will certainly end it. Rush is going to come. Riffa is going to come with one of their own as a counter, and actually gets the better of the exchange. 320 damage. Puts Riffa right back into this match. Slap, however, going to let them immediately hit the deck. Rafa cannot afford to let Riffa get too many more hits in here as they both enter critical condition. The Slap not going to quite work. I think the Phoenix got a hit in, but it wasn't charged, and the Chiller was just a little too far away to really get a follow-up. And Rafa, you feel, is getting a little desperate here. They're going to wander right into another Phoenix. Arm weak on the left-hand side, and somehow the Nade gets through. Literally, on 1 HP, Rafa hangs on for dear life and secures a 3-1 set over Riffa. The reigning champion is through to the Grand Final. My word, how close do you want this? I'll tell you what, the semi-finals and the winners' finals so far have been pretty close from start to finish. You thought that it just slipped from Rafa's grab. You thought we were going to a match 5, but not to be. Not on this occasion. The Nade somehow gets through, and that is how it be. So, with that, we're going to take a step away, because we got to sort the underground bracket out now. We've got our last best of 3. Hello? Have you got something to say? Huh? You interrupting my session with a little meow? Alright then. Go on then, microphone's all yours. Oh, Sam, you are precious. Listen, I know. This competition is a lot of fun. But we're not done yet. We've still got another 3 matches to do. We've got the Underground semi-final, we've got the Underground final, and then we've got the Grand Final. Okay, okay, don't give me that look. There might be a 4th match if the reset happens, but come on. It's not gonna go that far. That's famous last words. Don't give me that look either. Oh, Sam, you are adorable. Alright, so let us get this set up. If my precious boy will allow me to do so. It is between Iceman and Ocker. Okay, you are being a little bit annoying here. Look, I know I don't do the fighting anymore, but that doesn't mean you have to now give me a challenge in and of itself. No, I still need to look at this screen, Sam. Down you go. Good boy. Honestly. Okay, with that a little intermission done and dusted, we're gonna hop back in, and we'll be ready to go. Okay, my friends, so it is time for the Underground semi-final. A chance to book yourself into the top 3. It is Iceman versus Ockrim. Iceman on the left coming in with the ribbon goal. First time we'll be seeing it on stream today. Nade and Siki is going to be the call. Ockrim on the right coming in with the brass. Burchuk and the toaster. The Siki just whizzing past brass. Thought for a moment it might get the target, and finally does so on the next time of asking. Burchuk will at least be able to stop both the nade and the Siki if it can hit, but knowing full well that the explosion could still very much catch them off guard, they'll need to be incredibly careful. As we do see Temple Grounds for the first time, so all stages, I do believe, have been shown on stream today, which is also a nice rarity, and that is going to be a perfect for Iceman very early on. Well, we saw Iceman score a perfect in the first match, and we're going to see another one from Iceman further on down. And that was just unfortunate. Of that, there is no doubt. Ockrim just didn't stand a chance there. And it's going to bring in double Toaster now to see if they can try and find a way of outboxing. But they've got no way of being able to curve around either of these arms. And they're not really going to be able to stop either of them anytime soon. So, and the added mobility that Ribbon Girl has here. Like, Ribbon Girl is such an agile character in and of itself. So, she's already a hard target to hit. And you're putting a lot of trust in the boxing gloves. And unfortunately, Iceman is significantly too far away from Ockrim to even get any kind of hit in. Just about blocks out the Siki. But again, all they need is like just one little slip up on the AoE of that explosion. And look at how much damage that Iceman is doing consistently. That's another big time damage. That's going to be another KO. That's a double perfect. Iceman has just won a double perfect match. Never mind rarity. That that is a sight to behold. My goodness. What can you say? Complete and utter devastation from Iceman. It's been a... I don't even have the stats to tell you... I don't even have the stats to tell you when that last happened on stream. But if this ends up being a perfect set, my goodness, that will be a first. I'm pretty sure of it. Arkham's got a Biffler on hand, and we're going to see if some form of damage can be dealt to the Ribbon Bomber herself as she comes in with the nade and the Seeker yet again. Arkham, meanwhile, coming in with that Biffler and the Burchuck. Burchuck should be able to hit the, at least able to stop the arms, and the Biffler hoping to try and at least hinder, at least stall out Iceman's movements. That added verticality to those arms. But look at how consistent Iceman is with these punches. Again, Burchuck not able to make an impact, and already Arkham on the cusp of making it into the halfway mark. And my goodness, Iceman is on an absolute rampage and comes in with the rush. Big time damage. That's another perfect. Iceman is on the cusp of history. If Iceman perfects this, it's a perfect set. And it's the first time I'll have ever seen it in competitive history. Iceman's going to get a shock and a grab confirmation. Arkham has it all to do as the missile finds its way past through the corner of DNA Lab yet again. Biffler not going to quite make the mark. Iceman back in track just in the nick of time. Nade is going to buffer out Arkham yet again. Rush is on hand, ready to go, but look at how quickly Iceman has got the damage in. Rush is going to come out, and it is going to hit. Is this going to KO? No, it won't KO. 400 damage. Iceman needs one more hit and gets a perfect set. It would be history. It's history. It's a perfect set. I've never seen it before in competitive history. 4 perfect out of 4. I've never seen anything like it in my life. Oh, God. I have no words for that. I have no words for that. And it means that we go into the Underground final with a match and a half on the table. It is Iceman versus Riffer. Allow me to set the stage for you here. This is best of 5s from here on in. Iceman has won this cup 13 times. Riffer has won this cup 12. Nope, sorry. I'm getting mistaken. Sorry, my bad. I've got too many numbers on my brain. Iceman has won this cup 12 times. Riffer has won this cup 11 times. 1 cup separates them from being tied. And this is the Underground final. This is top 3. If Riffer beats Iceman, they have a chance to tie that record, but they'll have to beat Raffa in the grand final to do so. If Iceman beats Riffer, they have a chance to extend their cup lead by 2 cups, but again, they have to beat Raffa in the grand final to do so. The stage is set, the characters are up. Iceman will be coming in with Min Min, not Ribbon Girl, and Riffer coming in with Misango. This is going to be a heavy hitting affair of likes. Well, if you thought Riffer and Raffa was very close, this should be even closer. The Underground final is about to begin. Iceman with the Ice Dragon and the Sparky gets a hit and straight into a grab combination set up perfectly by the Ice Dragon. Surely Iceman is not looking for another perfect. Surely not. That would be ludicrous, and it's not going to happen. Riffer are going to make absolutely sure none of those shenanigans happen in this set. Arm weak on the right hand side of Iceman needs to be a little careful, but gets the shock. Somehow didn't get the grab though. The grab just about whiffed, millimeters if that. They did get the follow-up little punch with the second shock attempt, but still they'll be a little annoyed about that one. As long as they win the point, they'll be happy with that. But Riffer is going to take any kind of momentum where possible. Yellow Mask going to help with that rush. Both going to come out with it. Iceman choosing the better part of it, goes to block it so that it's only chip damage and nothing more. But crucially, Iceman couldn't charge anything from that as well because they had to wait for their rush to go down. So both at an even state. Sparky is going to finally fling on through. And Iceman will take the initiative in the first point. So what are we going to see here? Riffa is going to bring in the Biffler. I'm going to see if this has any better use than what Okrim did in the previous match. And so far the answer is a little bit better here. Min Min immediately gets a face of our ARMS mascot, as both have Rush ready to go. Red bringing that little bit extra power for Masango, and Riffa making him work beautifully at the moment. Is going to fall foul of a grab from the Iceman. Min Min keeping up this consistent pattern. Comes in with the dragon, tries to get the last second poke, but it's not going to happen. Riffa going to punch all the way through it. And straight away just gets another chill on Iceman, robbing him from a chance of getting that dragon on back. Biff's face back onto the screen, not once but twice. Iceman a punch away from going down here. They do have rush available, but you feel like at this point they'll probably take it into the next point unless they can get Riffa down into KO range, which is not going to happen thanks to that chiller right in the face. So already off to a very close start in this set. Iceman's going to get the first point of damage. They're coming in with a tri-bolt on that Dragon Arm now. So just like with the Chakrams, it's going to be a little bit more dangerous for Masango because those bolts, they cover a lot of area on their own. But as the perma-charged Dragon Arm will show you, they are that much scarier. Riffa going to keep with the Biffler and the Chiller, and so far making it work. They are falling foul to these 1-2 combos. As long as the bolt can hit, the dragon is not far behind. But this rush is going to do more damage again. 270 knocks Iceman clean off their feet. And again, another charged Biff's face. This is the most I've seen Biff's face on this stream for quite some time. And already Iceman just a couple of hits away from conceding. Once again, they had the lead going in. They took the first point, but Riffa has came back with a vengeance. And that is going to be the KO grab that sees Riffa take the initiative in the set. They lead by a point to 0. And Masango doing things though indeed. And it's always interesting to note that the fact that Masango is a rarity these days, like, for those of you who do not keep on top of what I post up on my Twitter account over at Tamashikanjo, every Monday I post up the stand-ins in the in-game dashboard. ARMS has a little dashboard that tells you what the top 200 are in the world and the top 200 in your region. So for me, that's Europe. And over the past few weeks, it's been hotly contested between Riffa and Replicant. But I feel like Rafa's making a claim for that top spot, and I think Rafa might get that #1 spot before you know it. But crucially, Masango just doesn't really appear. I think Riffa's really the only Masango that's entered the top 50, so yeah, you get the general idea. It's nice to see Masango mixing up the competition here, and Riffa making them work beautifully so far as we enter via Dulce. And immediately knocks Iceman straight down. They're bringing in a Phoenix in this time round. So, just going to really throw a little curve to Iceman's game plan here, because it's just an extra little thing that will stop that Dragon Arm. Having said that, Iceman is coming in with the Chakram on that arm. So, both going to come in with a curved superpower. So, it really comes down to if Iceman can be consistent with the Sparky, and, well, if it's anything like that, yes, they can. But Riffa's getting some crucial grabs of their own, and they're not backing down from this fight in the slightest. Both with Rush available, gets another hit with the Biff. It looks how silly it looks from Masango's perspective, where Min Min just slides around with a big blue ball of Buff's face on it. Iceman dips into critical, sliding around, forcing Masango into the corner. You do not want to be down there, but Riffa doesn't mind it so much. They managed to get another hit with the Biffler, and a successive one right off the get-go is going to pop this right into their favor, and Riffa a point up. And somehow Riffa just waited out, baited out the attempt from Iceman, got chilled, went for the grab, and Riffa went, yep, that's a free rush for me, thank you very much. And now it's all about judging when Iceman is going to come in with theirs. Only goes for the dragon hit from that shock on this occasion, but you feel like that rush might be imminent, especially with the fact that Iceman is rapidly going towards another loss here. If they don't use the rush at all, then they may never turn this back into their favor, and Riffa already has it right back into contention, and that's going to be the KO. That is going to be another KO, and Riffa leads the set by 2 points to 0. Well, as it stands, Riffa is looking for that rematch in the grand final, and they are staking their claims big time. Iceman not on the board. They came close to taking a point away from them in that first point, but that match, it was just all Riffa there. And this is where it really comes down to it. Can Iceman find a way of turning this around? They'll have to do the reverse sweep. Riffa just seemed to have an answer for everything Iceman was throwing on the table. And it's always interesting that Misango knows when to back out, knows when to sort of like bait out what Iceman is attempting, and Min Min clearly not going to be the answer. Back to Ribbon Goal. This is the character we saw Iceman do a perfect set with in the previous match. Let's see if they can find a way back from here. It's going to be Nade and the hottest of slaps to go up against the Chiller and the Bifless. And the Bifless still going to be very effective against a character like Ribbon. And we'll see if Riffa can use it to their advantage. So far gets another chill and a grab. Ribbon, I think, tried to go for the attack to stop it, but it was just a little too late. You always have to get the timing of those attacks just a little bit on point. A second delay could be the difference between punching through it and taking about 150 damage. Riffa already with rush available. Iceman has it too, but has a lot more health to claw back here if they wish to use it wisely. Already into critical. Riffa still on the halfway mark. And another self-destruct. It's the risk that you run with running the nade. If it is charged and it gets slapped out of your hand, it is activated, it has hit something, and it will just drop onto the floor and self-destruct in your face. Another chill hit lands, which is all Riffa needs to put themselves on set point. One more win will pop them in the grand final in a rematch against Rafa. Both with rush available, but again the self-destruct, sending Ribbon Girl flying. And you just feel like Iceman just can't seem to get into this. Finally does get the explosion of their own. They're coming in with Tri-Blast and Nade now, so it's really high risk, high reward. Go big or go home. Tri-Blast did hit, but unfortunately the Phoenix hit first. You hate to see that kind of thing happen, but Iceman is going to get a successful rush. 270 damage puts Riffa on the cusp of critical. So now it's down to how Riffa comes back from this, and so far this is working beautifully for Iceman. This was the switch up they needed, and it's working brilliantly. Riffa on the cusp of being knocked out here is actually still going to go for the rush, unbelievably, and sends Iceman on the cusp of critical. So Riffa now needs to not take any more damage. One more point will do it. So it's very much a risky strat here for Riffa that they're playing, and it's not going to work out for them on this occasion. Iceman is going to have the ability and the aim to finally tie this one up, but they still need to win one more. They're on the cusp of their rush as we come in to the final point of this match 3. And already getting a couple of knocks from that Biff. Phoenix is not going away anytime soon, and actually catches Iceman in the air as well. Riffa forced into the corner. Iceman going to try and force the initiative. Riffa caught the shield up before they were going to go for the rush. Instead, it's a grab that connects. Both going to get a bit of a trade there, and the nade is going to explode in Riffa's face. Iceman finally starting to swing the momentum, but he cannot afford to be caught in the air like they are currently being done. Both have the same amount of health here, and the tube is going to go down, much to Iceman's dismay. Iceman is in KO range of a Riffa rush if this can be timed well enough. 50 seconds left on the clock. Iceman gonna commit to the rush. Lands it. Gonna score themselves 300 damage. Puts Riffa into critical. They have the health lead with 40 seconds on the clock, but they know a Riffa rush could still take it from them. They're looking for one more hit. One explosion would do it. Any kind of damage would see it through, but Iceman is not gonna get it. Double committing forward, and in the end, it's a Riffa rush that does seal it. It's a 3-0 win after the perfect set from Iceman, and it means that Iceman will finish in 3rd place in this competition. There will not be a 13th cup in their name, and it means that Riffa has a chance at redemption against Rafa in the grand final. And the stakes really now couldn't be higher. So, once again, we get to set the stage. Grand final is going to be contested between 11-time winner Riffa versus the 2-time winner and reigning champion Rafa. They'll have their respective letters at the end of this. Riffa with the L, Rafa with the W, and what that essentially means is that Rafa has not lost a set in this tournament yet. This is a double elimination tournament after all. If Riffa gets the win in this set, we are going to have a bracket reset. So for Riffa to win this tournament, he has to beat Rafa in not just one best of 5 set, but in 2 best of 5 sets. All Rafa has to do is win 1 set against Riffa. That is it. It'll be the first time for a good few tournaments. It'll be the first time since the 42nd tournament since someone successfully retained the title. That is what Rafa is riding on here. Whereas Riffa is riding on tying Iceman's record of 12 cup wins. The stakes are huge. Will it be Riffa's redemption or will it be Rafa's reign? We are going to find out as Riffa starts ourselves off with the Siki and the Chiller. Rafa meanwhile with the Cobra coming in with that lockjaw and the hottest of slaps as we start on Sparring Ring. Both trading pretty much very early on, and that chill chain, you don't want to get caught up with it too much, but thankfully that hot slap denying the grabs, not once but twice though, I do believe. And Riffa's going to have to be a little bit more cautious here coming into this set, knowing full well that every point absolutely matters. Somehow that grab did not connect, and the rush isn't going to do it either. It's going to at least juggle Riffa in the air a little bit. Arm weak on the left-hand side. Rafa could not get the slap on 2 occasions. Thankfully, the explosion didn't hit either, so both players not getting really any purchase with their rush. But crucially, it's Riffa who is on the worse end of this. Already a hit away from conceding the first point. Arm weak on the left-hand side. Any kind of slap will do for Rafa. They have the rush as well. They're going to try and hold on for dear life if they can. Riffa's not even close to getting that rush charged. It's so far, nobody wants to hit each other now. There's been at least a stalemate for a good 15-20 seconds. Riffa finally does get the grab, and Rafa is just looking for one more poke. 20 seconds left on the clock. Riffa knows it could still turn. Somehow the grab also doesn't hit, and Rafa is seeing this lead slip and slip. But finally, crucially, the lockjaw finds a way through. Both now with rush ready to go. Rafa is going to switch the arms around a little bit. Nade, hot slap, still going to be the... no, lockjaw is gone, so yeah, it's going to be nade and hot slap. Meanwhile, Riffa coming in with that Phoenix and the Chiller. Gonna still see and find a way around the nade. Both got an initial hit there. What is happening with these hits so far today? Rafa and Riffa both missing with their initial rushes. Both hit each other on the second go round, and then Riffa got the better of the rush exchange, and they're both exchanging the hot hits as well. What in the world is this start to this grand final. I swear you couldn't get these two any closer if you tried. As the slap finds its way through again, doesn't quite take the blue mask off, but the mask comes off anyway as the power starts to ramp up. Riffa has that little bit more confidence. The slap is firing on through, but just about stopping the grab attempt from Riffa, who does have rush available. They could KO from here, but they probably know that they can hold on to this. Rafa committing to the rush, sends Riffa into critical, trying to find a way to stop this early, knowing full well that Riffa just wants to hold on to this if they can. But it could be a curse in disguise. If they don't commit to this, they do commit to this, but they're going to lose it. The slap hits. Rafa, you star, you absolute wonderful star. The rush came out because Riffa knew they could not afford to race that and think about what if. They committed to the rush and Rafa somehow gets a slap in there, the cheekiest of hot slaps, and takes the point away from Riffa and leads the set by a 1-0. Oh, it's starting off incredibly strong. Oh, what's going on here? It looks like we are having a server reset. So, I think the point still stands. I think it still is going to be a 1-0 to Rafa, but both participants have banked out of the lobby just to reset their respective routes, just to see. Both players are saying there was a little bit of lag in that matchup, so we are just going to pull back just a moment and give both players a chance to turn their switches off, power it off, reset their connections when needed, and we'll be jumping right back on. But I do believe and I am just going to double check that it does stay 1-0 to Rafa. And yeah, confirmation that it does. So Rafa does lead the set by a 0 as we await both of the players in the grand final to come back into this. So, whilst we have a moment, I'd like to thank you all for coming by. It's always nice to have you all here. Whether you're a competitor, whether you're a player who plays the game casually, or also thinking about coming into the competitive scene, or if you just play in ranked, that's also fine. Or if you enjoy watching ARMS, it's always nice to have you here. And in 2 weeks' time, we're going to have the big 5-0, our 50th Challenge Cup. I don't think anybody behind the scenes, any of the tournament organisers themselves, thought that we would have enough people in the community to keep this going for such a long time, let alone be on the cusp of our 50th cup. So I'd like to thank you all, and obviously a big shout out to the organisers themselves. It's always great that they take time each and every Sunday to come in here. So and it does mean that whether you are a casual player or whether you are competitive, it would be an absolute treat to see as many people come in for the 50th as possible. Just to really show that, you know, the ARMS scene has never been dead, and it couldn't be more alive. Looks like the lobby is gonna be back up, so we're gonna join back in the lobby once again. I'll just quickly slip that away for you. And I myself would just like to thank the tournament organisers for giving me a chance to cast so many of these. It's been an absolute joy to do, and I look forward to being able to do more in the future. So, with that out of the way, it looks like the lobby is set and ready to go. We're going to resume the grand final of the 49th Cup. Reigning champion Rafa currently leads by 1-0. Both came in incredibly hot in the first point in sparring ring. Could have gone either way. Really could have gone either way, especially that last point. That last second slap really did throw both players for a loop. I think Rafa was just as surprised as Riffa was that hit registered. I also do believe that because Rafa was in this lobby first, the two players will have switched sides. So if that is the case, it'll be Rafa on the left of your screen, it'll be Riffa on the right. Mausoleum is going to be our choice for match number 2. And yep, it will be Rafa as the Cobra on the left of your screen, and on the right of your screen it will be Riffa. Kid Cobra versus Misango. Rafa does have a Watt on the back. They probably thought that Riffa might come in with a Watt of their own, but that's not to be. Rafa going to come in with Watt and Popper. We've seen this combination before. And Riffa doesn't have a Watt to be able to counterbalance it this time round, so we'll see how this plays out. I'm weak already on Cobra's side on the right. As Misango comes in with Chiller and Phoenix, they're going to hope that they can find a way around the Watt, but also remember that that Popper is exceptionally quick. The Phoenix will go out as a curved arm, and Rafa is using this to great advantage here and is already dominating Riffa from the get-go, not giving them a chance to breathe here. The Watt hits uncharged, so no shock damage, but Riffa is only a hit away and actually does go down. Rafa has complete control here. The Popper is outspeeding the Phoenix, and the Chiller just can't seem to get a say in. Biff is gonna come on out. Here comes the Biffler. So Phoenix has been tucked away, and Rafa just immediately goes straight in with the rush. Not even hesitated, not even thinking about it. Just goes, you know what? There's nothing that can go wrong here. Goes straight for the rush. Riffa didn't expect it and takes pretty much all of that. Popper is still going to find a way through. Finally does rush in, but the Watt, crucially, that big, heavy bulk of an arm just straight up blocked out the rush enough for Rafa to just get the rest of the shield and just slide away. Another big time grab, and the Watt is going to catch Misango right on the feet. And already Rafa has a 2-0 lead in the set. Rafa is a point away. A point from winning their 3rd title and retaining the cup. Well, Riffa has it all to do now, let alone get into the reset. They gotta reverse sweep this set. And who would have thought that this would be how we would see it? That Rafa would win that in such dominating fashion. I think I'm absolutely stunned by that. Riffa is gonna throw an absolute curveball here, and we are going to Scrapyard. This would be monumental. Riffa as Misango, Rafa with the Cobra. Rafa looking to do what hasn't been done for at least 7 tournaments and retain the cup. Phoenix and Lockjaw is going to be the choice going up against the Chiller and the Mega Watt. Anticipating that Riffa might bring something a little different, and so far starting off the stronger and get another well-timed grab. And already Riffa's on the back foot, almost onto the halfway mark. Finally does get a hit with the Watt, but the Lockjaw just sets up for the Phoenix. It just gives her that little bit of time to get into position, and the Phoenix goes peck, and Riffa is suddenly losing their nerve here. The grab is going to KO. The grab will KO. Rafa is on championship point. I don't think anybody wrote this script for the grand final. I thought it would be close from start to finish, but I didn't think it would be anything like this. Rafa immediately starts up with the initiative again, comes in with the rush, no fear whatsoever, doesn't get the second bounce of it this time round, and is actually going to get caught by the grab from Riffa, who's got it all to do as they equip the blue mask and speed up just a little bit, but again, knocked straight out of the air by the Lockjaw. Rafa has Riffa on speed dial here. They're just on point. The mask is going to come out again. Riffa has rush ready to go. They need to be able to get a successful conversion of this, and does so. keeps that gap as close as possible. 340 damage, puts Rafa on the cusp of critical, but the Phoenix is going to swing around again. The pillars are still up on Scrapyard, and River just can't get around it in time. They've got no curved arm. It's the Watt and the Chiller as a combination. Rafa needs a grab. Rafa gets the grab. And would you believe it? Rafa retains the Challenge Cup with a 3-0 win over River of all people. Cobra wins in shockingly dominant fashion. I am stunned, especially with how close the winners final was between these two. Rafa did not concede to River in that grand final. And yeah, for the first time since the 41st and 42nd Cup, we have somebody successfully defending the cup victory. Rafa wins the previous tournament and this one. It's their third ever Challenge Cup win. And that actually takes them into third in the standings as a result. It's impressive to say the very least. So good on them. Rifa will take a still fine second place. Adding to that little tally, would you believe it? They finished second 12 times. Rifa is nothing but consistent. Rifa is generally swinging in to that top 3 category. 11 wins and now 12 second places. Yeah, it's the Rifa revolution for a reason. But people like Iceman, Replicant, and Rafa are making sure that that revolution does not stay as long as it has been. And Rafa really climbing up those standings. Naturally, Rifa beating Iceman in the Underground final means that Iceman will finish a fine third as well. And despite the perfect set, Okrim did still finish in 4th, so it's still a really good showing. And to be fair, everybody did a good job here today. So thank you all so much for tuning in. It has been a joy to cast from start to finish. And with that done, I think we're going to be towards the end of the stream. We'll be wrapping this up pretty much. So I hope you all have had fun. Keep an eye on the European Arms social media. You've got the Twitter at European_Arms. You've got the YouTube, EU Arms Competitive. And obviously you've got Twitch as well, which is EU_Arms. If you want to join the Discord for, either chit chat or for more arms discussion, this Discord should be in the description below. And with that, I have been Tamashi Kancho. You can find me pretty much at Tamashi Kancho on all social media and also Twitch. Remember to check in every Monday for the updates for the EU in-game dashboard and obviously for the European Arms promotions in and of itself. And as always, until next time, my friends, keep fighting fit and stay fresh.